Yeah, we're not telling your husband. So it's great to see everybody here today. It's great to see everybody here today. We weren't sure how many people were going to show up, and then of course we were hoping the rain would cooperate, but as many of you know, we've been out here since the winter, in the cold, in the snow, standing up because there's really nothing else we'd rather be doing. And it seems like people feel the same way we do, so yay, Portland! Yay, Portland! Yeah. Okay. I can't find... All right. I can't find my schedule. Okay. Can I have your schedule? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's... Okay. Well, we are here today to honor a great hero. Some people believe heroes, I don't know, I can't even understand why some people are called heroes, but John Lewis was truly a hero. He put his life on the line to work and realize that the life he was leading and the other people of color in his communities were living were not just. And it took many decades for the civil rights movement to make any gains whatsoever. We had a few wins, but here now we find ourselves with the Trump regime destroying all those wins and even going back farther than the 60s. It's not acceptable. No! Yeah. So it's really not, as we see it, an option whether we should be here. We need to be here. We need to stand up for him. We need to stand up for all the others that came before us that said, this is not acceptable. Our democracy is really no longer, some say it's still there. I don't believe that. When I was in high school, I learned about the 3 branches of government. Does anybody here think we have 3 branches of government right now? No, absolutely not. So it's we the people, you know, we elect our politicians to go to DC or even Augusta to stand up for our rights. And obviously the Republican Party is not caring about their constituents. They're only caring about their own power, their own money, and the fact that they're scared what Trump may do to primary them. And I can't understand how those people can sleep at night. So here we are. John has said many words to us over the years. I was online the other day just looking at every speech from over the years, and it's like tears come to your eye because you know where we are and what we're doing. And, you know, he's looking down going, this is not right. So, Norris?
We got the Civil Rights Act in 1964, the Voting Rights Act in 1965. I've always taken the position that the vote is precious. It is the most powerful, non-violent tool that we have in a democratic society, and we must use it. Unbelievable discussion, debates are going on all over America. On the part of some people who suppress them, to make it hard, to make it difficult, almost impossible for people to participate in the democratic process. We cannot let that happen. All of us, we must be prepared to fight and never ever give up. Never ever take no for an answer. We must get in it. We must get in trouble. Good trouble. Use the law. Use the law. Use the Constitution to bring about a non-violent revolution right here in our country. This time, this place. We've come too far. We made too much progress to stop now or to go back, but we must move forward.
Test. Okay. So we know John has said so many things over the years, and we have to stand up and be his voice. He can't have his voice any longer unless it's been in speeches like this one from the past. So we're going to use our voices to stand up and to shout out and say, this is not acceptable, this is not the world we live in, this is not the country we live in, and that the Trump regime has to be stopped and go down. So the last thing I'll say is, this is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Take that home, put it in your heart, put it in your mind, and keep going forward with that. Thank you. So I would like to bring up Anna is one of our speakers from Democracy Maine. Welcome, Anna.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming out. So we in Democracy Maine and the League of Women Voters, we're a nonpartisan organization that stands for voting rights. And in a moment like this, that can feel like a pretty tiring thing to do because we always have to keep fighting. So I think about the words of people like John Lewis, who remind us that this fight is one for each generation to take up their part. He said that this is not a fight for one generation, one presidential administration. This is all of our fight for every generation. And so what is our role to do right now, right here? When we in Maine have an important role to play in this moment, we have a fight that we can win right here in our home state. I think some of you already know what I'm talking about here. There's going to be a referendum on the ballot this November that wants to make it harder for Mainers to vote. Exactly. This ballot question is an attack on our democracy here in Maine, and we're going to stop it.
Yes. Yeah.
So we just heard from the state Supreme Court what the language is going to be for this referendum. The question is, do you want to change Maine election laws to eliminate 2 days of absentee voting, prohibit requests for absentee ballots by phone or family members, and ongoing absentee voter status for seniors and people with disabilities, ban prepaid postage on absentee ballot return envelopes, limit the number of drop boxes, require voters to show certain photo ID before voting, and make other changes to our elections? So what do we say to that question? Exactly. We are saying no on this referendum that is taking away our voting rights. Because that's what they are. They're rights. It's not, oh, if you can drive to the polls on election day, if you don't have to work, if you, no, these are our rights, and we will stand up for them. So what can we do? Well, the first thing we can do is to make sure that everyone in Maine knows about this referendum and is going to turn out to vote in November. And you can do that first by signing the pledge to vote no. That is going to help us a lot because it helps us say,
question is it?
you already know about this and you're pledging to vote no. We don't know what question number it's going to be yet. But that's yet another reason why you should sign the pledge, because that's going to help us get you the information that you need to be able to get your friends, your neighbors, your family turned out to vote no this November. So we've got folks with clipboards circling around here. You can sign up there. You can also go to saveabsentee.me to sign there. And you can help us get involved with knocking on doors, speaking in community events, tabling. We really need everyone to be part of this. And I know that, our right to vote is just one of the rights that's under attack right now. There are so many things that we have to fight for, and I know that voting alone is not sufficient, but it is necessary to our democracy. It is a fundamental right that all of our other rights are based on. And so if we can stand up for the right to vote, not just for ourselves, but for everyone in our community, we can ensure that all of these rights that we care so much about can be preserved. So are you with me? Will you vote no this November? Your voices here and your voices in every conversation you have between now and November are absolutely crucial. Thank you so much. Sign the pledge, vote no, and save our absentee voting laws in Maine.
Thank you so much, Anna. I think you said it all, and we know what we need to do. Next up, we have Lilac with the Transgender Rights Association, so come on over.
How's everybody doing? Good. I like to see motivation. This is really putting it out there. Not bad for a Thursday after 5 o'clock. So I just want to start off by thanking people, because everybody deserves their credit for this. We'll start off by thanking Indivisible and Resist and Activate Maine, 5051, and of course all of you. Every single one of you are here right now, and it is just as much your responsibility as is everyone else is here to keep each other safe. This right here is what we call a community. So I am a military veteran, a trans-military veteran.
Awesome!
And our rights have been under attack right along with everyone else's. I'm not trying to put mine above anyone's, but being a trans person, I'm going to take a moment to let you guys know where we have come from and what rights exactly are being taken away. So let's start off by saying, as an honorable veteran, that's the first thing they went after and tried to attack, was our ability to serve our country honorably. And that is disgusting, because it shouldn't matter who you are. If you believe in protecting your country, shouldn't that be the only thing that matters? Yeah. Second thing they tried to strip us of is our dignity. By getting rid of our pronouns, not allowing us to identify with our pronouns. Sounds not like a big deal, but it is. It's absolutely an important factor when it comes to dysphoria and identification. So, what do? How do we cope with all of this? So much to do at once. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to process. But you know what? We're strong because we are a community. And that's what I fought for, was community. So now that I'm back here, we're going to promote community. And we're going to realize that even the opposing party is still part of our community. And at some point, they're going to get upset with the angry apricot and put down their Kool-Aid, and they're going to want help. And they're going to be that marginalized person, and then we're going to have to join together and help them. Now, I'm asking a serious question here. How many of you are going to be there to help your neighbor? I know I will. I may not want to. It is a part of me that absolutely wants to watch it all burn. But you know what? I'm not gonna. Because I can't. I'm not allowed to. I made a promise to that girl right there, my family, my sister. I made a promise to all of you. Okay, I don't know if any of you are on Facebook, but I have a group on Facebook. It's called 50501 Maine. We have a private page and a public page. We're at 2,100 people right now. I would like to double that number. I really, really would. So if you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook, because that's where all the radicals are. And then, if you are on Facebook, join my page. That's 50501 ME and Maine. And join both of those pages. Get your friends to join the pages. They also have activatemaine.com, which is the calendar of everything going on in the state. It also has a lot of other valuable resources. I know it's a lot of information to unpack all at once, but please take these notes down. This is your homework assignment. Okay? I also want to push August 1st. We have La Marcha de la Puebla coming up. It means heroes, not villains. It is a rally right here, this very location, August 1st at 10:30 in the morning. And I'll be running for most of the day, and it will graduate into the art walk that happens at the beginning of every month. So I hope that we can all come out on that day and show our immigrants support, show our artists some love, bring the community back together again on a Friday nonetheless, and fill this whole square right up. All right, I said it before, and I'll say it again. I said the last time I was here. We have an extra privilege being in this state. I think we all kind of started to recognize that. We have the ability to be super incredibly loud. And I don't just mean like, show me what democracy looks like, right? Because we all know what to do there. But I mean loud. We are going to set the example. We are going to be out there in the streets every single day, showing what it is to show up and protect freedom. Because it doesn't matter what the angry apricot does. We know what we've got each other's back, and we believe in freedom. So we practiced right before we started. I'm going to do it again for you guys. Show me what democracy looks like. 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 Y'all are great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lilac. So next I have the privilege to have Eli come up to the microphone and play us some of her music.
So Timothy Snyder wrote us an excellent small book about resisting fascism, and the first advice is do not obey in advance. So, don't obey. So this song is called Do Not Comply. The chorus is a little bit hard to catch on to, but at the end of each chorus and the end of each verse, I sing the word no. And feel free to say no right back at me, okay? As loud as you can. Do not comply, it only makes them stronger. Do not comply, it only feeds the hunger of a beast that would devour. Now is the hour to stand before the beast and say no, no. No to the hatred of those who don't conform to some stupid gender norm. We will raise a fearsome storm to say no. No! No to the murder of those who need our care. Left with only thoughts and prayers, we will come from everywhere to say no. No! Do not comply, it only makes them stronger. Do not comply, it only feeds the hunger of the beast that would devour. Now is the hour to stand before the beast and say no. No to the erasure of those who are not white, who've been banished in the night. You can bet that we will fight to say no. No to the destruction of the country that provides a safe place to live our lives. There will be no compromise when we say no. Do not comply, it only makes them stronger. Do not comply, it only feeds the hunger of the beast that would devour. Now is the hour to stand before the beast and say no. No to the project where rich white men take it all, leave the rest of us to crawl. We will come over the walls to say no. Do not comply, it only makes them stronger. Do not comply, it only feeds the hunger of the beast that would devour. Now is the hour to stand before the beast and say no. Thank you.
Thank you, Eli.
We forgot to mention we have some shirts for sale. If you're interested, come and visit over at our table. We also have the button maker. If the kids want to come over and make a button. We also have some buttons that are available as well, and some stickers. Next up, we have State Representative Grayson Lookner.
Come on, Grayson. Do it.
Hello, Portland!
Hello, Grayson.
People say that protesting doesn't do anything, but I want to take issue with that because when we protest, we show we still live in a democracy. We show that we are not afraid of Trump's authoritarian tactics. He might be deploying the National Guard, he might be deploying the U.S. Marines, he might be kidnapping people off the streets, but we are not afraid. So thank you all for standing here and showing us that Portland, Maine is not afraid. We are going to stand up and we are going to fight back. John Lewis was an extremely brave man. He practiced democracy with his body. He put himself in danger's way so that more Black Americans could vote. They overcame the terrorism of white supremacy in the South that prohibited Black people from voting. And we are going to do the same thing today. We're going to do what it takes to win our democracy back. I don't think Trump's regime is legitimate. Does anybody here agree? I don't think so. Although he may have gotten voted in by our electoral college, I don't think he's a legitimate leader. And I think we need to get more people voting, not fewer people voting. Democracy is not a spectator sport. It takes everything from protesting, from signing a petition, to voting, to getting involved in direct action when the time comes. Okay? So there are petitions going around right now to stop Cumberland County's cooperation with ICE. Right now, not a mile from here, there are 60 to 80 ICE detainees in the Cumberland County Jail. I don't think we want our tax money supporting that. So they say all politics is local. That's one way that's a battle we can win. So there's one area of government that you maybe haven't heard of that much because we don't talk about it that much in the state, but that's the county commission and the sheriff's office over which they have control. And they have control over the state budget, the county budget. They have control over the contract with ICE. And they could very easily terminate that tonight if they wanted to. But they need to hear from all of you. So guess what? There is a Cumberland County Commissioners meeting. Who follows this stuff? Probably not many people. We're right down here at the county courthouse, or actually they may have moved it last minute, but so stay tuned. But you can follow No Ice for Me. They're going to talk about that, and it's on Monday. So you can show up there and get your voice heard. And that's a battle we can win. So we are going to show up continually, and we are going to make sure that we defeat this referendum that is going to take voting rights away from people who are experiencing disabilities, from our elderly neighbors, and we are going to expand voting in Maine because that's what we do. I'm proud of this state because we expanded. We're the first state to enact ranked choice voting. We were the first state to have a public financing law so that Jamos like me can run for office and not have to beg money from a bunch of wealthy individuals. So we're going to continue on that path, and I am just really proud of this state. I'm so proud of all of you, and we're going to continue showing up, and we're going to continue to fight until that orange apricot is gone. So thank you all. Solidarity.
Thank you, Grayson. Next up, we have Katya Bruma. Bruma? Am I saying it? Bruma, youth activist speaker. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Thank you. Can you hear me all right? All right. Well, I am very excited to be here with you guys today. My first introduction to John Lewis was when I read an opinion piece of his. It was published a couple of days after he passed in the New York Times. It was called Together You Can Save the Soul of Our Democracy. And in that, he spoke of democracy, not just as a state, but as an act. And I'm really excited to be here continuing that act with all of you tonight. So here we go. Today, some of the civil rights legislation Lewis and his fellow organizers fought so hard for is the same that Trump is trying to take away. Not only that, but the pillars that Lewis advocated for, freedom to protest and freedom of speech, are also under attack. In LA, we saw federal troops sent in on peaceful protesters. At Tufts University, we saw Rumeysa Ozturk forcibly disappeared by ICE agents for writing in her school paper. In California, we saw Alex Padilla shoved to the ground for doing his duty as a senator and asking a question that Kristi Noem didn't want to answer. Of the key steps that citizens need to take if they want to defend democratic institutions, perhaps the most important one is preventing the normalization of atrocities like these. That prevention comes from a constant spotlighting of these actions. It comes from people with a conscience drawing attention to their immorality and reminding others that these actions are not just and they have no place in America. In other words, the opposite of normalization is making some good trouble. Good trouble means drawing attention to unjust laws, corrupt politicians, and dangerous paramilitary forces like ICE. It means calling your senators and writing to your newspapers, but also organizing and marching and engaging in some civil disobedience. And as John Lewis did so at lunch counters and bus stations and the Edmund Pettus Bridge, so will we at squares just like this one, because he showed us how. I am 16 years old. And I have lived over a quarter of my life under the Trump administration, and I think that is way too damn much.
Way too much.
I am 16 years old and part of the generation that arguably has the most to lose at the hands of the Trump administration. Because he very literally has our future in his hands. The decision of whether or not to wreck our economy with tariffs is his. The decision of whether or not to fund climate change response programs is his. The decision of whether or not to respect our Constitution and the civil liberties of our citizens is his. And we know damn well what he's gonna choose.
What about you having babies? That one is taken away.
This man, who has the least to lose, is carving away at our liberties and cutting the cord on our lifelines, on our freedom of speech and of protest and of the press, and it is terrifying. But you know what? It's also pissing us off. And anybody here who is a parent knows that the last thing you want is a bunch of pissed off teenagers.
That's right.
And I bet the last organization that wants that on their hands is the US government. But this bunch of angry teenagers also needs their angry parents to make some good trouble for them. We need you to get on the streets and march and chant and raise hell at the danger Trump poses for our future. We need you to find a way to get in the way, and we need you to make some noise. So when we see children sent to alligator Alcatraz, we're gonna speak up like John Lewis did. When we see our neighbors and our friends fearing for their livelihoods or their lives at the hands of ICE, we will make some noise. When mothers are separated from their children in the maternity ward by ICE, we will raise hell. Because in America, no matter where you come from, what you look like, or what you believe in, children belong with their parents. When our DHS secretary stands in front of cages with people stacked in them, we will make sure everyone knows of her disgusting depravity. Exactly. When our Supreme Court plays into the hands of the executive and Congress people cower, we will show them that the power of people is always greater than that of people in power. We will make some noise. When a racist, criminal, fascist tries to take over our country, what will we do? What will we do? And we're going to keep doing that till long after he's out of office. Thank you very much. Thank you, Katya. You've got a bright future ahead of you. Really impressive for 16. All right, next we have Dr. Julia McDonald.
Thank you. Let's hear it again for Katya and her fiery message. John Lewis believed that the future is in the hands of our youth, so we need more people to speak up like Katya. Are you all ready to make good trouble? My name is Julia McDonald, and I am a Maine physician and an abortion provider. And y'all, there is so much to talk about. But I just wanted to tell you all a couple stories. Last week, I delivered a baby to a couple who have been here in the United States for 4 years. Their journey here was hard and carried them through war zones and refugee camps. They came to the United States seeking asylum, seeking refuge. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Emma Lazarus's poem on the base of the Statue of Liberty offers a welcome to anyone needing a safe harbor. Send these the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. This is our responsibility and our honor as Americans, to lift up a lamp beside the golden door. But this administration is defiling that value by deporting people who are lawfully and peacefully here, by tearing parents from their children and terrorizing brown, black, Hispanic, Asian, and immigrant communities. Boo! So come with me back to the hospital. I counseled the parents on the standard newborn information: feeding, pooping, how to take a newborn's temperature, and how to pick up the baby's birth certificate. Children born in the United States to immigrant parents are citizens. Regardless of their parents' immigration status, our Constitution ensures that then the Supreme Court affirmed it. If the current government tries to rewrite our country's founding principles and rights, we need to make good trouble.
I also traveled around Maine this week to provide abortion care. I am proud to work in Maine, a safe harbor for people needing abortions and gender-affirming care. Maine's protections for patients and the clinicians who serve them is an example of good trouble. Since Dobbs overturned Roe v. Wade, thousands of Mainers, you all and our other Mainers, have advocated for the vital need to protect sexual and reproductive health care, and our state legislature and our governor did. But the fight to control the bodies of women and people with uteruses is not over. The feds want to take our funding and to close our clinics. But when they do that, what will we do? Make good trouble! When science is ignored and devalued, we will make good trouble! When Medicaid is cut, we will make good trouble! When food banks lose their funding, we will make good trouble! When public broadcasting is cut, we will make good trouble! When ICE attempts to enter schools and hospitals, what will we do? Make good trouble! When they come for our neighbors, what will we do? Make good trouble! Now is the time to be brave. Now is the time for nonviolent action. We cannot afford to be quiet. Thank you.
So last Saturday, and most of you must know that we meet at Monument Square at 11 o'clock. Angus is the one that pulls the permit, and he does a great job, and people come up and say what they want to say, and it's a great community builder. So we had a young woman who came up and decided she wanted to sing last Saturday, and we were pretty much blown away. So we asked her if she would come today and sing her song that she wrote herself. So let's give it up for Andrea. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I felt compelled to write this song a few months ago. Not one that I ever set out to write, but it was necessary. And I like to think of it as part protest song, part schoolhouse rock. So, and there are parts where you can repeat, especially toward the end. I'll tell you what. We see the lies and the hate of bullies and billionaires. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to care, taking our country apart while the GOP bows down. But the song in my heart says we've got to stand our ground, we've got to keep up, we've got to show up, we've got love on our side. We love our freedoms, that Constitution. Yes, we've got laws on our side. Here in America, we sing of liberty, represented in 3 co-equal entities. We have no kings, the bells of freedom ring for me. It's so disheartening to bear what we've lost, how to cope. Our fears can take hold. It's hard to have hope. Remember, history repeats this corrupt, ugly blight. But decent people win when we stand up for what is right. We've got to keep up. We've got to speak up. 'Cause we've got love on our side. of our freedoms, the Constitution. Yes, we've got truth on our side. Here in America, we sing of liberty, represented in 3 co-equal entities. We have no kings. The bells of freedom ring for you and me. Now you can repeat after me. Of the people, by the people, we've got love on our side. Of the people, for the people, we've got love on our side. One more time. Of the people, by the people, we've got love on our side. Of the people, for the people, we've got love on our side. Here in America.
Oh, I don't know what to say to that, but that was incredible. So let's give it up again. So our next speaker is taking on a huge task. Fortunately, he's done it really early on, but he's going to get Susan Collins out of office. So I welcome Jordan Wood.
Come on, Jordan, do it.
Thank you.
Let's do it. Then she won't be
Thank you, Indivisible, for organizing this. Thank you all for coming out today. I'm Jordan Wood. I'm running against Susan Collins for the U.S. Senate. Because our country is in a moment of crisis and we need courage, not concern. This is a moment when I wish we had John Lewis with us. I wish we did, and I had the privilege of meeting John once. I worked in Congress for a number of years, and John was called the conscience of Congress, because no matter what the issue was, you could look to John to provide moral clarity on what the right thing to do was. And after the 2016 election, when Trump was first elected, like many of you, I felt despair, I felt hopeless. John Lewis showed us the way forward. He introduced me to a man that was running for Congress in a district Democrats had never won, that had been an intern of his. He was in his 20s. Establishment Democrats said there was no point in even contesting this race. His name was John Ossoff. John Lewis reminded us right after the inauguration of Donald Trump that the path forward is democracy. It is to fight battles you do not think you can win, but you must fight. And you must fight through nonviolence, through peace, and embrace hope. We are in a moment of crisis. Our democracy, the rule of law, so much feels at risk right now. John Lewis teaches us how we move forward, how we march forward. And it is being courageous. It is telling the truth. It is speaking truth to power. It is having courage to do what's right. So in this moment, when we have so many liars in Washington and in the White House, we need to tell the truth. When we have leaders who preach hate, we must preach love. When we have people like Donald Trump who rely on fear and intimidation, we must embrace hope. When we have politicians that enact retribution against human rights and the most marginalized people in our country, we must find grace and forgiveness. And John, in his most courageous moments, shows us the power of forgiveness. John, one of my favorite stories of John's courage was when George Wallace, one of the most racist politicians that we've had in this country, who is best known for the line, segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. This is a man who fought against everything John Lewis stands for. Later in life, he asked John for forgiveness, and John forgave him. And they went through the South and showed what reconciliation can look like, how we can be one community together, and what solidarity looks like. So I understand the responsibility I take on for so many of us that do not have a voice right now. I take it very seriously because there's a lot at stake in this country, and Susan Collins is not serving or representing our democracy or the state of Maine today. And like John showed us after 2016, the path forward is democracy. It is to win elections, to hold politicians who are appeasing Donald Trump and giving in to his lawlessness, that there is accountability for that, and it is democracy, it is the voters. So, thank you all for being here today and making good trouble, necessary trouble. Because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And we look on TV and we see what's going on in Southern California. We look at the ways that the Trump administration immediately ran after the trans community and the most marginalized. That is a threat to all of our civil rights and all of our freedom. And so we must stand in solidarity. And if we do, we will succeed and achieve the better future that we're meant to have. So thank you all for coming out, for having your voice heard, because it matters. It inspires more people than you even know that are in this square right now, but the people driving by. So, thank you. Onward to next November.
Let's hear it for Jordan Wood. All right, should we sing another song?
Yeah.
All right, Eli, take it away.
Jordan Wood.
So this song represents the kind of thing John Lewis would do. There was once upon a time in this country where you could go to jail and get back out again. Civil disobedience sent a lot of good people to jail. They got out, they did more civil disobedience, they went back to jail. So let's go. Have you been to jail for justice? I want to shake your hand. 'Cause sitting in and lying down are ways to make a stand. Have you sung those songs of freedom? Have you marched that picket line? If you've been to jail for justice, then you're a friend of mine. Was it Cesar Chavez or Rosa Parks that day? Some say Dr. King or Gandhi set them on their way. No matter who your mentors are, it's pretty plain to see. If you've been to jail for justice, you're in good company. Have you been to jail for justice? I want to shake your hand. 'Cause sitting in and lying down are ways to make a stand. Have you sung those songs of freedom? Have you marched that picket line? Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. You law-abiding citizens, come listen to my song. Laws were made by people, and people can be wrong. Once unions were against the law, slavery was fine. Women were denied the vote while children worked the mines. The more you study history, the less you can deny it. A rotten law stays on the books till folks like us defy it. Have you been to jail for justice? I want to shake your hand. 'Cause sitting in and lying down are ways to make a stand. Have you sung those songs of freedom? Have you marched that picket line?
justice, then you're a friend of mine. Now laws are supposed to serve us, and so are the police. When the system fails, it's up to us to speak our piece. It takes eternal vigilance for justice to prevail. So get courage from your convictions, let them haul you off to jail. I've been to jail for justice. I want to shake your hand, 'cause sitting in and lying down are ways to make a stand. And sung the songs of freedom, have you marched that picket line? Have you been to jail for justice? Then you're a friend of mine. If you've been to jail for justice, then you're a friend of mine.
All right, thank you, Eli. Okay, real quick, we have James.
Hi, Troublemakers. My name is James LaPlante. I'm an artist and a member of the artist group Luminart. We have produced a series of collectible trading cards of all your favorite villains that are destroying our democracy. I've got them with me here right now. I'd like to hand them out to the crowd. They're free. If you donate, we'll print more. These expose the cockroaches that are destroying the foundation of our democracy. Help shed some light. Be an activist. Pass these cards around in your neighborhood. All right, thank you.
Thanks, James. All right, last but not least, we have Tricia Carbonell from Maine State Nurses United.
Yes.
Maine State Nurses Association.
Hello, nurses.
Hi. Hi. Sorry, I'm not used to it. I'm a nurse at Maine Medical Center, and I'm a proud member of the Maine State Nurses Association. I'm really happy to be here with all of you tonight. As you know, we're here to celebrate, remember, and most importantly, to emulate. And most importantly, to emulate the late, great Congressman John Lewis, who coined that term, good trouble, after which we're here for. So what is good trouble? Well, I think you all know what bad trouble is, right? When a little kid gets caught taking an extra cookie out of the cookie jar, or they might get a timeout for stealing. When someone drives too fast on the turnpike, they might get a ticket for speeding. When the President of the United States creates the largest transfer of wealth from workers to the ultra wealthy in human history, ignores people's rights to habeas corpus, detains and deports human beings without due process, and shuts down government agencies that exist to serve the general public, well, he might just get impeached, you know. Let's take back Congress. All of that, of course, is bad trouble. It's the kind of trouble you get into when you've done something wrong and karma catches up to you and bites you in the glute. It is the kind of trouble you avoid as much as you can. So what is good trouble then? To find out, look at the life of John Lewis. Freedom riders, right? Those people, those young people, black, whites, who rode non-segregated buses through the deep South in the early 60s. In those days, white and black people riding on a bus together was enough to enrage the bigots and the white supremacists. John Lewis rode on the very first Freedom Ride. He was just 21 years old at the time. And John Lewis was the first of the Freedom Riders to be viciously beaten by the racists who were so afraid of racial equality. They attacked those young people and punished them for loving their neighbors. A few years later, John Lewis was beaten again, this time for marching for voting rights across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. He was attacked so brutally he suffered a fractured skull. And he kept going, standing with vulnerable people, getting in the way of what harms them, understanding that short-term physical discomfort or injury will reap rewards in the future victory. That is what John Lewis meant by good trouble. It has been said that if you want to know what you would have done during the civil rights movement, all you need to do is look at what you are doing right now. That's right. So my friends, what are we doing right now? Good trouble. Maine is still the whitest state in the country. Many of us here have incredible privilege in our society. Many of us do not have to worry about being kidnapped and disappeared. We don't have to worry about our kids being taken away from us. We know where all our loved ones are and that they are not being held in a foreign and domestic concentration camp. It has also been said that to whom much is given, much is required. If you have this kind of privilege, this is the time to use it. Am I right? Am I right? During the current regime, we will all be in situations that call for us to run toward the problem, not away from it. For us to stand in the way of what harms our vulnerable neighbors. These times and circumstances will call on us to be uncomfortable, maybe even unsafe, but for the benefit of others. And if we can all consistently be sand in the gears of oppression, we can together slow this evil machine down and maybe someday even make it stop. This would be good trouble, and it would be the best use of all our time and energy as members of this society and as members of humanity. I think it's safe to say that for people of goodwill, this is no longer a choice. It is an imperative. No one is coming to save us. We're the ones we've been waiting for. So let's keep organizing, keep fighting, keep remembering the lessons of the past, and keep making good trouble. Thank you.
Andrea, if you're still here, please disconnect from the Bluetooth. If anybody sees Andrea, tell her to disconnect from the Bluetooth.
Thank you everybody for coming out today to commemorate the late John Lewis, who sadly lost his life to pancreatic cancer 5 years ago today. He served as a U.S. representative for Georgia's 5th Congressional District from 1987 until his death in 2020. John Lewis has been described as a conscious of Congress. He was an inspirational hero and known as a man of unbreakable perseverance, who embodied the idea that any of us ordinary people can somehow point out the imperfections of this nation and come together and challenge the status quo and decide that it is in our power to remake this country that we love until it more closely aligns with our highest ideals. John Lewis's lifelong commitment to nonviolent activism and challenging the status quo to bring about positive change. He believed it was a moral obligation to speak up and take action when faced with injustice. Lewis's actions throughout his life, from leading the Selma to Montgomery marches to advocating for voting rights in Congress, exemplified this philosophy. His good trouble inspired generations of activists to continue to resonate today. My son Brennan and I would like to leave you all with a few of John's most memorable quotes. If you see something that is not fair, not right, not just, you have a moral obligation to do something about it.
Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble. Necessary trouble.
Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It is a struggle of a lifetime.
Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic.
So important that we keep showing up. We need to get to that 3.5%. We're getting closer. We're getting closer every time. I think we're about a little over 2% in the state of Maine. So this is not going to be the last time that you hear from us. This is not going to be the last event that we plan. Stay tuned. But hopefully soon we'll be meeting again. We want to make sure that we thank our volunteers who showed up today, coming out, our peacekeepers, everybody that helped make this happen, all of our speakers, our singers, and especially all of you who showed up today. Let's keep making good trouble!
Thank you all for coming.